As a spiritual abuse survivor, I'm sure you're very familiar with the phrase hurt people hurt people. Now, sometimes people use this phrase as a way to help you not take personally the abuse that you have experienced. But sometimes this phrase is used as a way to excuse, minimize, or justify the abusive experiences that you've gone through. In this video, I'm going to discuss how identifying examples of hurt people that do not hurt other people can actually be a powerful way of helping you recover from spiritual abuse. Okay. Now, if you haven't already, I'd really recommend that you watch the first 3 videos that I have in the Hurt People series. And you can find it in the Hurt People playlist on this channel. Okay, so I'm going to go over briefly what the videos are. So video 1 talks about the myth, hurt people. And then in video 2, I talk about how you've been conditioned to respond to hurt people. And then in video 3, I talk about healthy responses to the myth, hurt people. And then this is part 4, and I talk about the power of identifying hurt people that do not go on to hurt people after they've been hurt. Okay. My name is Dr. Felucia. I'm a licensed psychologist and owner of Skill Set Counseling, where I focus on the treatment of OCD, spiritual abuse, and cultural abuse. So back to the topic at hand, identifying hurt people that do not hurt people. Okay, so we're going to think about that in today's video. And I'm going to talk about why it's important to think about that and reflect on that as a part of your recovery, not only from spiritual abuse, but other types of abuse. It's important to understand that while we talk about spiritual abuse on this channel, that a lot of the demographic on this channel have gone through other types of abuse, like emotional abuse, narcissistic abuse, and other types of psychological abuse. Okay. So, as you know, the myth hurt people thrives in abusive settings. Okay. And this myth perpetuates abuse because it silences the victims. And what it does is that it takes away the responsibility of changing from the abusers. And what it does is it puts the responsibility onto the abuser. I mean, it takes up the responsibility away from the abuser and puts it onto the victim. And what the specific responsibility that is taken on by the victim is, let me rephrase it this way. It basically makes the person who's being abused, it makes them responsible for sorting out the abuser's pain. It makes them feel responsible for alleviating and soothing their pain and figuring out how their painful past and whatever pain they've been through is causing them to be abusive. And basically, they feel responsible for like being their psychoanalyst, their therapist, figuring out all the things that happened to them in their past and fixing it for them. And I talk about this more in depth in my other videos in this series, which is why I strongly encourage you to watch them. But if you have been a survivor of abuse, it is not your job or responsibility to figure out what happened to the person who was abusing you in their past and why, and why or how it has contributed to where they are right now. So if you want to understand why that's the case, watch the other videos, okay? So one of the ways that can help you in your recovery from spiritual abuse and other types of abuse is by attacking this myth of hurt people head on, right? Because it's a myth. We've all been hurt, but not everybody that's been hurt goes on to abuse other people. And so by attacking this myth head on, you create a very important and necessary boundary in your healing process. And that is by you creating that boundary, it puts the responsibility of healing on each person. It's your responsibility to heal from your hurt, and it's your responsibility, and the person who has abused you, it's their responsibility to heal from their hurt. So everyone is responsible for their own. Well, let me try that again. Everyone is responsible for their own hurt. Okay. So I hope you understood that. Everyone is responsible for their own hurt. All right. So one way that we do this is by identifying the people who have been hurt and how they did not go on and hurt other people, right? So we hear this myth a lot. And I'm sure that as a spiritual abuse survivor, or anybody, I talk about spiritual abuse on this channel, but even though you may not have experienced spiritual abuse, maybe it's been like, narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse, whatever type of abuse that you've experienced, you probably have heard, the phrase hurt people, right? And I'm sure you've thought to yourself, well, goodness, that's not true. And it's not. And so when you have experienced that, reaction and feeling, that's not true, think about someone who defies that myth, and think, who is that person that that did not go on to be abusive or mean or hurtful to somebody else? Okay. So this can be somebody that you know personally. It could be an acquaintance, or it could even be, a historical figure. I don't want you to overthink this, but I do want you to think about somebody that you strongly identify with, or somebody that you really admire. So you can pause the video if you want, but I want you to take a second to think about this person. Okay. And so it's really important that you strongly identify with this person. Okay. So take a minute and think about this person, identify them. Okay. So it can be a person that's been through a great deal of hurt, adversity, and just whatever person would check the box of a hurt person. Okay. And another thing I want to mention too is that I would argue that a lot of people who are in this audience, who are in this community, would fit this description. I think that we have a small but growing community of amazing viewers who fit this description. A lot of you exhibit just a lot of authentic compassion to one another. I see this in the comment section. And so I would identify a lot of you in this category of people who have been really hurt, but go on to exhibit great compassion to other people. And I notice this, and I see this in the comments that you put in the comment section, and just the kindness that you exhibit to others. So I hope in this few minutes that I've been talking, that you've identified somebody. And so once you've identified that person, take like a piece of paper. I know we've been talking about journaling. So if you have a piece of paper, write it down. You can grab your phone and open a note in your phone, or grab a journal and answer the following questions. Okay, so grab your phone, piece of paper, and here are the questions. Okay, so first of all, who is the person? So answer that, number one. And then number two, what do you like about this person? Name some attributes about the person, qualities about this person that you like. Okay. Question number three, what values do you think that this person has? Okay. Now I'm going to go over the questions again, so don't worry if you missed one. Number four, what do you think you have in common with this person? And then question number five, what is one lesson that this person has taught you? And maybe even something that you want to reflect more of in your life. an attribute of this person that you'd like to reflect more of in your life. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the questions again. Number one, who is this person? Number two, what do you like about this person? What do you admire or value about this person? Number three, what values do you think that this person has? Number four, what do you think you have in common with this person? Number five, what is one lesson that you think that this person has taught you? Or maybe even something about this person that you want to reflect more of in your life. Okay. So I would love to hear from you more in the comment about this. And I want to, hear from you specifically about one of the questions that you answered, that you journal about. Okay. So we have 5 questions here. What's one of the questions that you answered in here? And also, now that I have mentioned these questions that we're journaling about, I also have a journaling series in this video section. So if you go to the channel, you will see a playlist on journaling. And I talk about how journaling is a very important part of spiritual abuse recovery. And so you'll see some journal prompts in there. You can also use this as a journaling exercise. And so this is something that you can incorporate into your journaling, your journaling routine. And I think that it will be something that will really help as part of that process. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and I just want you to be kind and like you always are, and just think of ways that you can encourage one another as part of this recovery process. Okay, so if you would like to get some more help in part of your recovery process, go to my website, skillsetcounseling.com, or you can click in the link in the description box to book your free consultation. All right. So I hope that helps, and I wish you all the best today. May you have a peaceful and joyful day. Bye-bye.